Hey you guys, welcome back to See Meaty Mom, and if you are new here, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to make a copycat version of Olive Garden Chicken Alfredo, but I'm going to try to make it a little bit healthier and a lot cheaper than what I would pay in the restaurant, so stay tuned. All right, you guys, last week I was kind of working through some ideas for videos and I threw up a poll on my channel and I asked what type of video you wanted to see. One of the choices was a week of copycat restaurant dinners, and that one seemed to be pretty popular. But as I got into researching this, I realized that really just making one dinner the way I wanted to show you, what I wanted to talk about, all the things that I wanted to explain, that in and of itself was one video on its own. So if you end up liking this video, be sure to leave me a comment and let me know, and I will try to do more copycat recipes from popular restaurants. Now, confession, my husband and I are not huge chain restaurant goers. When we do get to go out to eat, we tend to try to go to places that are local, but a little bit of Googling and a little bit of research on the internet showed me that Olive Garden is a restaurant that is in all 50 states across the United States. And when I did a poll online, my own personal Facebook page, crowdsourced it, official research, a lot of people responded that they felt like the Chicken Alfredo was probably the most popular menu item that they have at the Olive Garden. And a former student of mine even chimed in and said that as a server at Olive Garden for 5 years, she definitely thought that the Chicken Alfredo hands down was the most popular item ordered from their menu. So when I did a little digging into the nutritional information for that particular dish at Olive Garden, according to their website, these dinner serving size of Chicken Alfredo packs over 1,500 calories, about 95 grams of fat, and 56 of them being saturated fat. In addition, I figured out what it would cost for my husband and me to each have a portion of the adult-sized Chicken Alfredo entree, and for all three of our children to also enjoy a child-sized portion of the Chicken Alfredo. And I discovered that it was going to cost our family over $60 just for those particular entrees at Olive Garden. And that's not including beverages, that's not including appetizers, it's not including any desserts that people want to order. Not that we would have room for that after all of the salad and breadsticks and Alfredo. That's not to say that it's a bad thing to splurge sometimes and go out to dinner and have something that's really rich or indulgent, or to pay for a meal. I mean, part of what I'm paying for when I go out to dinner is the fact that I don't have to cook and I don't have to clean up. That's worth something, right? But it's January right now, and I know that a lot of people are trying to cut back on their budgets, and they're also trying to maybe eat a little bit healthier. We're all kind of trying to recover from the holidays, am I right? So I thought that I would attempt to make something like this at home and see if I could make it just a little bit healthier, maybe bring the calories and fat down just a tad, and also see what the overall cost would be if I was making this meal for my family at home. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, but Mindy, at Olive Garden, we also get salad and breadsticks. That's part of the value of the meal. I mean, sometimes people make a complete meal out of the salad and breadsticks alone. So I am going to attempt to make some versions of those things that are similar. I have looked up a copycat version of the Olive Garden salad dressing. I will leave it linked in the description box below. The one I'm using is from the website youmakeitsimple.com, but I am making just a few minor changes. A lot of the recipes that I saw called for a packet of Italian dressing mix, and I just make that from scratch. There are all kinds of recipes for how to make the packet, like good seasonings Italian dressing mix from scratch, just from stuff that you have on hand in your spice cabinet. And then it asked for a little bit extra salt, sugar, pepper, garlic powder, a 1/4 cup of vinegar, a 1/4 cup of water, and 3/4 of a cup of olive oil. Now, one change that I am making, because all of the recipes that I am seeing for copycat Olive Garden salad dressing call for mayonnaise, just a little bit, like 1/2 tablespoon of mayonnaise. So I'm guessing that that is meant to be an emulsifier and not so much for the flavor, meaning it's meant to help keep all the ingredients together, because oil and water and vinegar don't stay mixed. I typically use Dijon mustard for that job, so I am just going to put about 1.5 teaspoons or so of Dijon mustard, and I'm just going to shake that up, and there you have it. I have some salad dressing. I'm just going to pop that into the refrigerator until we are ready to eat our salad. I'm just not a big mayonnaise fan. It's not something I keep on hand, and I didn't want to buy like a big container of it just for one video. Now I'm going to take a shortcut tonight, and I'm going to use some Rhodes rolls. So this is a pack of 36 frozen Rhodes dinner rolls. They are not already cooked, it's just the dough. So I took 12 out of this package and I put them into a casserole dish so that they could thaw and proof just a little bit. And all I'm gonna do is try to roll those a little bit into a breadstick shape and then put them onto a cookie sheet and let them proof a little bit longer. Then I will bake them in the oven until they are done, probably 6 to 8 minutes or so. I'll check on them. And then when they come out of the oven, I will just brush a little bit of melted butter on top and sprinkle some garlic salt on them. But I'm gonna wait to do that until right before we're ready to eat so that the breadsticks are nice and warm. I just put the chicken in the oven and I am using a tried and true baked chicken recipe. It is from Skinnyish Dish and I will be sure to leave it linked in the description box below. The big secret is to brine the chicken breast beforehand. So I put mine in the refrigerator this afternoon to brine, and I have this really cool like marinating container for that. If I can find it on Amazon, I'll try to leave it linked in the description box below. But after it had brined for several hours, I just took it out and laid it out on a paper towel to dry. And then you just put together this spice rub that is paprika, oregano, salt and pepper, and garlic powder, and you rub it over the top of the chicken breast. I put mine on a foil lined baking sheet that I had sprayed with a little bit of cooking spray, and now it is in the oven baking. The recipe calls for baking it at 450. I think my oven's cooked just a tad hot, so I turned it down to 425, but I will just use my meat thermometer to make sure that that is done cooking. It'll probably take about 35 to 45 minutes or so. I'll just check it after 35 minutes and see how it's doing. I am at the stove, you guys, and I'm making up the sauce. I already have the pasta cooked to al dente. I'm gonna drain that here in just a minute. The heat is off of that. I cooked 12 ounces of whole wheat linguine because they did not have whole wheat fettuccine, and I feel like it doesn't really matter what pasta I'm using. It's all about the sauce, which is what I'm making now. I started with a 1/4 cup of butter, that's half a stick. I melted that in my pot and I added 3 cloves of minced garlic and I let that brown for a couple minutes. And then I added a teaspoon of garlic powder, some salt and pepper, and 2 ounces of cream cheese. Once the cream cheese had melted a little, I poured in 3/4 of a cup of half and half. You heard that right, 3/4 of a cup of half and half. And now I'm just kind of whisking that all together until the cream cheese is completely melted. Once that is done, I'm going to add 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese. Now I bought my Parmesan cheese fresh. I bought a wedge of Parmesan cheese and I shredded it myself. I feel like these recipes always work out better when I use fresh cheese. So I'm going to add the cheese to the half and half cream cheese butter mixture. I'm going to make sure that I'm watching it. I'm keeping this over very low heat because it has a tendency to scorch these types of sauces because there's so much dairy in it. So I'm just going to stand right here while I'm putting it together and make sure that it doesn't do that. Once the Parmesan cheese is incorporated and melted, I'm going to turn the stove off, and then I am going to stir in 3/4 of a cup of plain whole milk Greek yogurt. You heard that right. Guys, don't be adding vanilla yogurt to your Alfredo sauce. It's not gonna end well for you or for the yogurt. And I do not recommend adding non-fat plain Greek yogurt because it would probably render a lot of water. That's one of the reasons why I'm turning the stove off before I add the yogurt, and I'm adding it in at the very end because I wanna make sure that it doesn't like render a bunch of water or curdle. Sometimes when I'm cooking with yogurt, it can just do kind of funny things. So I'm gonna make sure the sauce cools just slightly before I stir that in at the very end. And then we'll be ready to put it all together. Okay, here it is, you guys, all plated up. And can I just tell you, the breadsticks turned out amazing. And I did sneak just a little taste of the sauce, and oh my gosh, it's really good. I'm really looking forward to diving into this. But here it is. We are going to enjoy our dinner, and then I will come back and give you the skinny on what the nutrition is for this and also the cost. All right, what's the verdict?
It is delicious. I really love this meal. It's really good. I like the sauce a lot. The bread's really good. The salad's great. I mean, legit, it's good.
If it's good enough for McKenna, I think anyone would like it.
Yeah, McKenna? Oh, she hasn't tried hers yet because she's working on her salad. What do you think of the breadsticks?
Rick, what?
Yeah, okay.
Olive's hoping she gets some.
Yeah, Olive is sitting here. We really should take her off the table, but she's like sitting here watching everybody. I gave her a little piece of chicken in the kitchen. What do you like the chicken? Yeah, I figured you would like the chicken. All right, you guys, here are some more numbers for you. So I told you at the beginning of the video that a portion of this dinner, not counting the salad and the breadsticks, was around 1,600 calories, 95 grams of fat, and about half of those were saturated fat. That is according to the nutrition information that I found for Olive Garden. The way that I made this tonight, it came out to around 700 calories per serving with 25 grams of fat, 15 of those being saturated fat. When I made this serve 6, again, that is just for the pasta and the sauce and the chicken. When I compared the nutrition of the salad and breadsticks that I made compared to what it lists the salad and breadsticks at Olive Garden, it was very similar. And that was around, like 140 calories for a breadstick and like 150 calories for the salad with dressing. I will say that my husband also said that the dressing was spot on, that he felt like that was really, really close to like the Olive Garden dressing that he remembers. Remember, I said that it would cost over $60 to feed my family this meal at Olive Garden if we were ordering 2 adult chicken fettuccine entrees, one for me, one for my husband, and 3 child-sized chicken fettuccine entrees. When I added up the cost of the ingredients that I used to make this meal tonight, it came out to less than $20 for the entire meal. And if you're thinking to yourself, but Mindy, we always have leftovers and I could take them for lunch and we could eat them for dinner the next night. I just packed up 2 large servings of the chicken fettuccine, plus we had salad and dressing and 3 breadsticks left. So there were still leftovers for this. So I really think you could stretch this to serve a little bit more. I mean, I know I was feeding 3 children with this, but I definitely think you could comfortably feed 6 adults a good sized portion of this meal. So it got a thumbs up from everybody. It got a thumbs up for me. I couldn't even finish everything that was on my plate. I was so full from everything, but it was great. It turned out wonderful, even better than I thought it would. I will go ahead and type out the recipe that I came up with for the Alfredo sauce and leave it in the description box, along with links to any other recipes that I talked about or referred to in this video. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment so I can know to make more copycat restaurant meal videos. And I will be sure to check in with another video very soon. Bye.